Hello and greetings everyone. Now then, our studies tell us certain things about our lives. We have certain limits that we can do. I myself set limits to what I can do. As some of you know, I have a lot of trouble with bad legs. So I set myself limits for that. I used to have a lot of trouble with strengthening my right arm and my left shoulder. Now when I was doing that, I limited myself to what I would attempt. When I started learning about the faith, because my education wasn't a high education, I never thought myself able to learn, and this limited me. Now, I watched the program last night, and I mentioned limiting yourself. You set your own limits to what you can achieve. You have mental blocks that stop you from reaching the limits that you want to reach. And the way they've explained it is, a photographer takes beautiful photographs, takes fantastic photographs. The world's open to him, but he's scared of heights. So he's limited to take photographs at ground level. That's his limit, because he set that limit by being scared of heights. Now, if he could overcome that limit, can you imagine the photographs he'd take from the top of a cliff, from the top of a mountain, from a hot air balloon? He's limited himself because of his fears. No, I limited myself because of my fears. My fears that I wasn't educated enough. So I would set myself limits there. And now we've got the elders of the Nordic Compass. Someone opened my eyes and let me see that I was limiting myself, that I could do more. By helping others, it is helping us do more. I limited myself by thinking I can't go to the gym. And one day I decided to lose weight. I would go and do very, very light work at the gym. Now, my limit there was, I thought I can't do much because I've got a weak right arm, weak legs, and a weak left shoulder. Sometimes I couldn't lift a cup up with my right arm because it was that weak. So that was my limit. I thought I can't do nothing. So my first 2 days, 3 days at the gym, I was lifting weights that a child would lift. I was frightened to hurt myself. I was frightened to push myself. And then, when I started realising I could do more, realising that I'd set those limits myself, then I persevered. And those limits disappeared. And my expectations in the gym went through the roof because I'd limited myself to what I can do. It's the same with following your faith. You might think, well, I'm not very good at learning about the gods, or I don't know that much about the gods. So you limit yourself and you listen to people that claim to know more, people that tell you to know more. And because you set yourself a limit, you believe them. Now this cat has set itself a limit, and its limit is it sleeps all day and has a fun fight with its brother in the night time. Well, that's what I like to think he's thinking. But we shouldn't have these limits. For the past few years, I've set myself limits, thinking I can't do this, can't do that. But these limits I've set myself. These limits have stopped me from doing things because I've set them for myself. Now, when I realised from the doctors that I was ill, I thought, right, got to take it easy. And I thought, no, I'm setting limits again. Nothing about my illness tells me I've got to take it easy. I always set myself limits, thinking, yeah, take it easy. No, push the limits. Always strive to be better. Always strive to be a better person. Now, in this society that we have nowadays, it's very hard to have a high moral value because everyone around you seems not to have them, not to care. So we think, well, what difference can we make? I'm just one person. By that type of thinking, you're setting yourself limits. You're letting yourself down. You're letting your folk down. You're letting the gods down. Expand your limits. When your limits are mental, then it's up to you to expand them. Sometimes we can't. Sometimes we may have physical limits. We could be in a wheelchair. We could be blind. Okay, don't let those stop you. You ask someone in a wheelchair, you tell them that they can't do sports. Well, look at the Paralympics. They do sports. They're not limited by being in a wheelchair. Same as blind people. Blind people go running, cycling. They're not limited by what they do. They don't sit in the house because they say, I'm blind, I can't go out. They overcome it. They set new limits and they achieve new goals. I mean, when we read, we look at a page. If you are all of a sudden went blind, you say, well, I wouldn't be able to read again. And yet there's Braille. Set your limits. Move forward. Trust in the gods. They know what we can do, what we can't do. We can achieve so much more than what we think. If only we expand the limits and look more to what's possible than what's not possible. We limit ourselves. Let's expand on that. Okay, everyone. I'm going to let this cat go to sleep now because it's 7:30 in the morning. So, on one more thing. When the gyms closed in the UK for a month, I thought, well, I'm going to have a month off. Won't do us any harm, not training. Again, because the gyms were closed, I was setting myself limits to what I can do. Now I've got barbells, I've got resistance straps, I can train. That limit has been dissolved because I opened my mind to what I can do. Okay. Hail the gods. Hail to you. Hail here. Hail the old father. Be safe.